I mean, I think there was at one point with ClickFunnels, we got to like 750 users within a couple months because
so many people are so scared online to start because they don't have a product or service or an expertise or something like that. So what?
at the end of the day, you could have the world's best chainsaw, but if no one knows how to use it, like that's the end of it right there. So you have to teach people with content, which is what we like to sell up front on how to use the chainsaw, so to speak.
With that being said, Blake, if you don't mind, dive into a little bit on the internet as it relates to affiliate marketing. Were you an affiliate first or were you an affiliate second?
What we did specifically that catapulted our success in the affiliate marketing once we learned a little bit how digital marketing worked is
Welcome to ClickFunnels Radio, the podcast that brings you the latest strategies, insights, and success stories from online marketers just like you who utilize funnels to grow their business. Our mission is simple: to help you unleash the true potential of your online business by harnessing the power of funnels. Join us, bringing you exclusive interviews and thought-provoking discussions that will revolutionize the way you approach online marketing. Here are your hosts, Chris Cameron and Ben Harris.
Welcome back to ClickFunnels Radio. Excited to have you. I think we are on episode 707. This is exciting times with my here Ben Harris. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic and more excited than ever about the guest we have today.
Yeah, this is, I always have favorites, right? And a lot of it's because, we've had relationships, throughout the years in business and affiliate stuff. But this is one of my favorite people, even if he's a Red Sox. But one of my favorite people we have today, Blake Nubar, who is a multiple 2 Comma Club Award winner, 2 Comma Club X Award winner, and one of our best all-time affiliates for ClickFunnels. This guy knows the game inside and out, so I'm super excited to hear what little nuggets we're going to get today. So
I am pumped to be here. Thanks for the introduction. This is going to be awesome. I'm glad to jam out with you guys here today.
It's going to be a blast. And okay, so you recently got married. How long ago did you get married? How long have you guys been married?
Yeah, so we got married April. Oh God, my wife's already going to kill me. April 22nd, we got married.
You better know that.
I know. She's going to kill me for it. No, April 22nd, got the ring. You guys sent me an awesome gift, by the way, so thank you for that. It's been a blast thus far. We're already coming up on a year, which is crazy.
I can't believe it's gone by that fast. That's awesome. All the congratulations to you and your wife. Incredible stuff. And also, you with ClickFunnels from the beginning, I see it over your right shoulder. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, that is one of the hardest awards to get. And you used to have all these 2 Comma Club Award, above you. But I would almost say, Ben, that this dream car might be a tougher award to get than like a 2 Comma.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The 2 Comma Club Awards are killer. And backing up, I remember I started with ClickFunnels when that group was at like 19,000 people, and you guys are encroaching 300,000 people inside of that Facebook group, which is crazy. So I'll never forget day one, which was honestly the best decision we made in our business, was joining up with you guys because it's changed everything. But yeah, those awards back there, comparatively, 2 Comma Club Awards is awesome. It's an amazing award, but in terms of difficulty, the dream car is tough, but it's very satisfying because it feels like ClickFunnels with how those awards work, which is really special.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ben, tell the people, what does it take to win a dream car?
Yes, our dream car award is able to be received once you have reached 100 active referred ClickFunnels accounts. You will qualify for, and little cherry on top, some stipends for your dream car of your choice. Or if you get to 200 active ClickFunnels subscribers, that award is kind of bumped up a little bit to increase your stipend. But with that being said, Blake, if you don't mind, dive into a little bit on the internet as it relates to affiliate marketing. Were you an affiliate first or were you an affiliate second?
I would say an affiliate second, which that's our MO of going about it. Both ways work. I think affiliate marketing is hands down the best way to get started looking back in retrospect, just because in terms of simplicity, I would call it an easier way to get up and running, with the fact that you don't need your own product or service. The marketing materials are essentially handed to you by the entity that you're promoting for. And a lot of these entities now, what they're doing a great job of is they're actually providing the training on how to become an affiliate marketer. So you fledged 360 solution on being up and running in a day. We went about a different approach just because I was ignorant to how this internet marketing stuff worked. And I was actually working for a company at the time where we were building products and services ourselves. So we kind of like, we got like a head start advantage that we already had stuff we were working on. And what we did specifically that catapulted our success in affiliate marketing, once we learned a little bit how digital marketing worked, is when we started launching our own offers, our own products and services for our own, for ourselves, we would inject affiliate programs inside of sites. And what happens when you do this approach, which, you know, this is nothing revolutionary, but in terms of creating an evergreen solution for affiliate marketing, this thing is, I mean, I think there was at one point with ClickFunnels, we got to like 750 users within a couple months, not because we were, you know, on doors and banging down walls on this stuff, but because we created something that could help our market. We brought in people into this kind of funnel. And then once they got to go kind of in the Willy Wonka chocolate factory and explore around, they would be pulling different things off, you know, the figuratively speaking candy products and services that they could go also join that were related to what we did. So we found the best strategy for us that worked specifically was, if you want to catapult your affiliate success, if you have something that you are working on, okay, implementing other affiliate offers that are correlated to what you're selling and providing additional value for work wonders. And we've done this with multiple products. Like ClickFunnels is one. We have other accounting type software. We have other tax planning services, just a bunch of different stuff that aligns and creates a better membership experience and course experience for your customers. And that's what we did specifically to get really early on.
Yeah, that's integration marketing right there.
Yeah.
I have things that align and that will actually add value to what you're currently doing. Not only that, but it makes a lot of time, well, it makes them stickier. And so here's my point is, if you're going to go out and you want to promote somebody's product or service, especially if it's something that's continuity ongoing, sometimes churn is hard. But when you're putting that into your own specific program, your churn is going to be a whole lot better. That makes sure that you get those commission checks regularly for the long haul.
Exactly. And that's one thing we got to reap the benefits on. Exactly what you're saying, Chris, is going and selling the product itself. And Russell and you guys talk a lot about this, which is, it's brilliant marketing. You need to decommoditize something by creating an offer around it. Like we've never to this day, like if we have a software and stuff, we don't go sell the software. We sell things around the software first before they get into the software. So if we can show someone value based on a new opportunity, the gadget or the mechanism or the widget, that's just the tool to accomplish what you're selling people on. So at the end of the day, you could have the world's best chainsaw, but if no one knows how to use it, like that's the end of it right there. So you have to teach people with content, which is what we like to sell up front, on how to use the chainsaw, so to speak. And then when you know exactly what to do with it. And that is what, lowers attrition rate and keeps members engaged with your community. And I always stress to people when they're like, how would you get started in affiliate marketing? It's really simple. Create something for free, and then that is tied around to the offers that you want to sell, that you're affiliated with. And then they'll naturally have a bridge offers to be able to have a better chance of selling those offers. So it's starting out simple and then going into it. A lot of the mistakes I see affiliate makes is like they sign up for an affiliate program and they go directly to the thing that they're supposed to sell without creating something around it. When you could decommoditize something and you create something around it, you're now unique, and now people want to buy from you. And then naturally they're going to probably offer that you're trying to sell, behind the free thing.
What led you to that ideology? Was it by happenstance? Did you study? What led you to, creating that own blue ocean for yourself?
Learning, actually. ClickFunnels was a big result of that. I didn't know this stuff, brand new stuff. So if you're watching right now and you're trying to find a way of getting started, like I just followed what you guys teach and it works. Like you're teaching it for a reason. You want people to be successful with your products and services. And a lot of the stuff that we learned, we took from you guys because it works so well. And taking the methodologies that you guys teach was a result of those three. And we didn't invent that thing. It was a model, it was a framework that worked, and we just followed it. So a lot of this stuff was learning. I mean, you're going to learn obviously by experimentation and trial and error. That's just a natural result of anything. But we didn't want to stare at a blank canvas out of the get. We wanted kind of a framework to, because of you guys specifically, we got to kind of like color in between the lines. And then, yeah, of course, you learn a lot of things along the way, but that really gave us kind of what we call the catapult to jumpstart the success in it. And then, yeah, as you get into the nuances, you learn a little bit about what you can do to tweak and alter things to optimize it and make it better.
That's what I love about it too, though, is so many people are so scared online to start because they don't have a product or service or an expertise or something like that. So what? You want to learn the game of internet marketing, go sell somebody else's product. Right? I mean, it is. Are you using now for years, like you've promoted other people's products? Do you have other people promoting your products and services as well? Some of this traffic?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of have a two-pronged approach with it. And, most people might consider this one, but we have classifications of different people that promote our product. We break it up essentially into two classifications. We have joint venture partners and we have affiliates. And it's kind of a tier based on where you're at in the marketing process. Like, do you have a big, are you someone brand new? So we split up the educational content and how we go about working with someone based on kind of where they're at. And it makes more sense if you think about it essentially, because you don't want to go into something that's really complex with someone that's brand new. And you don't want to go into something very simple, that is not going to cater to someone that's way more experienced. So when we have offers, it's based around kind of where they fall on. And that kind of level of detail we give to that promotion depends based on that. So totally. As we do as an affiliate, we're building out more of our affiliate program now. And a lot of it is, how you guys have basically, in my opinion, paved an amazing way. I think you program online, no lie.
Yes, sir.
And anyone watching, looking into this, please take a look at what ClickFunnels is doing, because it's utterly amazing. But the educational content, I think, is key on how to sell it. You don't want affiliates going, chimp with a machine gun going crazy. You want to kind of guide them in a way that's going to help sell your product. So we work at giving them basically a pool of resources and a guide of how to execute on those resources by selling our product. And then with joint ventures, which is really, that's where a lot of, in my opinion, it's the Dream 100, the bulk of your revenue is going to come from on that model. Those are more of a co-branded, intimate experience where we make it feel like, it is a joint. We're promoting together, the landing pages, the promotional materials, all of it is co-branded in a sense where you would think like we have a ongoing business with that person. And we do for that specific period of time, but those are a little more hands-on, more intimate, because they do provide a bulk of the sales that come in, just because someone that is on a similar level or even above you, so to speak, the advantages that you have, it creates a lot of leverage for your business, and it creates a mutually beneficial relationship in terms of how you can cross promo with them. Like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and everyone wins in the sense. Customers get an amazing product. We do a rev, so forth, and essentially got to create this win-win-win situation between JV1, you as the entity, and then the actual customer themselves.
Amen. And Ben and I have done a lot of this stuff too. And some of it with you, Blake. Like, it's interesting. And I love the classification because affiliates, man, it is an 80-20, maybe even a 90. When we're going to do a promotion, you'll have how many people say, oh yeah, sure, I'll promote. And then people who actually show up to promote or actually get people in is a vastly different number. So classifying that is huge. Do you put a lot more time and effort once you've qualified somebody as more of a JV? Are you willing to do a lot more work than you would like somebody who's just an affiliate? Do you automate that side? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, absolutely. So affiliates get kind of like that ecosystem, and they kind of hop in there, and the guidance is based on a done with you perspective of like video content, things like that. They'll reach out and stuff, and some of them can get needy. Some of them are amazing. It just really depends. It's all in all.
Yeah, but some of the lowest performers are the most neediest, neediest.
And that, and a lot of it just aligns to that's business in general, right? It's like you said,
for sure.
It's the 80-20, and it's how it is. But when you kind of to that JV or Dream 100 status, right? Which is just based on, are you creating value in the marketplace in a way that you're really basically building an audience? That kind of is the differentiation fact is your skill set tied to building your audience? Because joint venture is nothing more than a channel partnership. Someone has a product or offer or service and they need distribution. come together, right? It's like you make the JV look like, hey, you bring this product to your audience, you're going to look like the badass, you know, or the man with it, because you're going to get something of value. And also you're going to reap benefits financially as a terms of a co-branded partnership. But with joint ventures, yeah, to answer your question, we focus a lot more intimately on them. We have an entire automated process from the second to having a finished, fully co-branded experience with specific forms that gather assets, because we want to put our JV in the best light possible. Like we even are strategic, like it might sound silly, but it goes a long way, where even on the landing page, I don't come first in terms of the presenter. We put the JV, like it's their audience. See it, you want to make it feel like that when they're emailing or promoting to their specific audience, that like this is their thing. I'm a backseat wall, you know, I'm a wallflower.
You're the special guest.
That's it. Correct. And that's a lot of the key too, because you want them to be in a position where it's like you as the leader in this thing. And we'll do a lot of things like that. So we grab a lot of their different assets via forms, establish dates, you know, swapping of swipe files and things like that. So it's, and JVs, another thing too, because the benefits are so great with them, and which is, you know, Dream 100, is you're more on. You don't have them log in. We don't have them necessarily always log into an account. We give you your stuff. We spoon feed it to you.
Yeah, you almost have to.
You're so busy, right? It's like, this is just, yeah, we'd love to promote. I can't tell you how many times I said I'd promote something. And the key difference is like, how easy do you make it? Like, does all the material just show up for me? Then I'm more enticed to just like hand it off and do it. But you know, something is prima donna is like, oh, I got to log into an account and search for swipe files and all that stuff. As silly as it is,
and then insert my link in here, right?
Exactly. And it's where you're at in your business, because if you're just getting started, you don't care. You'll do that. Like when you grow an idea and you turn it into a business and it's scaling, it's not that you're like, I'm too good for this. You just don't have the freaking time anymore. Yeah. And the key is making it as easy as humanly possible, where it's literally like, hey, we'll even work, you know, we'll help work with your team if we have to upload emails and stuff. Like we'll do whatever it takes to make sure it's a seamless.
Yeah, because that's all that partner wants is the audience. So, you know, if you're a JV or an affiliate manager, keep that in mind too. That's a huge tip right there, is like, do everything for them or they will not promote. Correct. One thing I want to do, shifting gears though, is if you're just starting, one, you can be an affiliate marketer, but if you have a product or service, another is have affiliates, you know, basically be your traffic source, that Dream 100. But at some point, you're going to want to start going into this paid media, ad spend, all that stuff. Is there a particular point where that happens? And then I want to talk about what you're doing, which is super cool with Rocketeer and super easy. Like, when do you say, okay, I'm getting this from affiliates and everything else. When do you say, all right, it's time to jump into paid media, or do you do them both together?
Sure. So with affiliate marketing, we're always careful. Well, let me back up. We go into, I think there's no other way to scale a business than paid media. You can grow a business and have consistent revenue come in with JV, Dream 100. Affiliates is a great way to grow. Don't get me wrong there. But in terms of like joint ventures, it's a good, stable kind of evergreen strategy of constant traffic. Ads has to become a play. Any successful business on earth, they have to be, they're running paid media to it. Successful. Any business that really wants to grow and explode is using paid media to some extent. So in terms of affiliate marketing, a lot of what we do, because it's joint venture based, we do these one-offs with them where we're promoting via email list and stuff, right? You can run ads. We think it's a great way as an affiliate. But yeah, there would get a point, we would say, if the offer starts working really, really well, we can evergreen it via ads, and you can grow it as a back-end offer that way as well. Because essentially, even a lot of the offers that we have in our membership area, like you could look, there's two ways to look at it. It's like, oh, you're growing them because you're getting members, but we're growing them because we're running on the front end that's bringing them in to those offers. So it's kind of like a Trojan horse, really, where you're not directly running an ad to an affiliate offer, but you're running an ad to your offer that then exposes them to affiliate offers inside of your membership area as well, which to this day, I think it's the best strategy. That's just what's worked best for us. Not that other things can't. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, at some point you got to see, wow, this affiliate offer is working really well. Do we want to give them the opportunity to run ads to them, or should the affiliate be trained on how to run ads in a compliant, great way to those specific offers?
And there's that way they can do that?
And yeah, there is. I mean, specifically with what we created, we have a software that we created that does exactly that. And it was built on kind of the headache we went through as marketers, and we started a really amazing traffic software to solve all that.
Tell us more about it. I mean,
yeah,
I think that sometimes is the hardest thing for people now they've set this up. They know what their spend is and everything. I watched the demo on this, Blake, and it seems pretty dang cool.
Yeah, so this was created out of a massive problem that we faced as a company, and then we realized that we would say it's probably the biggest problem in business, not just internet, because we went through this and we know what it's like to not be able to get traffic to your products and services. Because what happens is, as business owners, you spend a lot of time creating something, you work effortlessly, or you put a ton of effort inside of something, you're working on it very diligently. Copy, you build the funnel, you create the offer, you do all this stuff. And when you go to launch it, nothing happens. Like, no one's there to see it. And we're led to believe that all of our stuff, it's your offer, or it's your copy, or it's your headline, or it's your ads. It's like, we don't really know what it is yet because no one's landing on your page. So before, and it's this unspoken thing. It's like, I feel like we want to avoid the traffic, but that's what we should be talking about. Because let's find out if your stuff is good. But the only way to do that is to get people to land on your page. And we went through this experience ourselves. Is we would create offers, we'd put all this time and effort into it, and then nothing would happen. So what do? We try and run ads. And if you've ever tried to run a Facebook ad specifically, you can understand with using the Meta Ads tool, it's a very daunting and extremely difficult, confusing experience. There's so many knobs to twist, levers to pull. There's just all these different things that really cause confusion. And by the time you even to get to the end of it, you're not confident in what you're doing. And we would try that, and it would.
Hey, while you're enjoying this, I want you to check out something else we've been working on real quick.
Why don't you let me invest?
No.
5%.
Nope.
6%, that's my final offer.
No.
Oh, you want to play possum on me? How about 8%?
What?
Take one marker.
Sign up for the first Funnel Way Challenge today and learn how to launch your business without any investors. You're supposed to go down in equity, not up.
Whatever, 9%.
Bomb went on its face. And then, so what we do is we would hire an agency, and that's great. You can hire an agency, but one of the things with an agency is that they are very expensive. So we ran into issues before we could even see the results. We're looking for spending, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on agencies. And that's when me and my business partner, Ace, we'd sit there and go, there's like no good solution. If you can't do it yourself and you can't afford an agency and you just put all this work in, what is it that you do now? Like, what's the next move? And that's when we realized there's a massive gap. There's a massive hole. So we started looking at other companies that solve things like this. And we started looking at TurboTax, and TurboTax took this very complex thing and they simplified the absolute heck out of it. And we looked at LegalZoom, and we looked at Robinhood, and Robinhood with investing took a very complex thing and simplified it. And we go, why has no one done this with paid media yet? Paid media is a complicated thing. Why has no one taken this approach? So the same way that TurboTax has simplified taxes, or Robinhood has simplified investing for the end user, we created a software called Rocketeer that simplifies the paid media buying and managing process, where anyone, anywhere, regardless of skill level or experience, can jump into a very simplified with complex features and functionality, but intuitively, it's very simple to actually launch and manage your very own ad campaigns online. And that is the path we set out to achieve, because we realized it wasn't just us that experienced this. If you're listening or watching right now, you could probably relate to, you get all this stuff up and running and then nothing happens. And we were fed. We thought there had to be a better way where people like us, ambitious, hungry entrepreneurs could find a way to compete, with the big boys who found a way to crack the code. Rocketeer is designed to level the playing field and give everyone that opportunity to actually run ads that work through a multitude of different things we have inside the software.
100%. And, we've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs like yourself on ClickFunnels Radio recently, and we recently had a guest that would suggest, depending on your industry, but more often than not, starting off with paid media first. Because if you can get something to convert the machine and you can get more than $1 back out, that's going to give you the proof that you need to expand into influencer marketing, different types of advertising. And really with Meta being, Facebook and Instagram, just being, as we sit right now, the best advertising platform that does exist. Would you agree with that? And if so, why or why not?
Yeah. So money is being spent still. Like, don't get me wrong, like TikTok's giving it a run for its money, and people are, Snapchat still trying to figure out their marketing model and stuff. But overall, if you look at the numbers specifically, Facebook is the Kool-Aid house. It's got the most users, the most active users, and it's got the most, I think $90 was earned from Facebook based on their ad revenue alone. So it shows you, yeah, I mean, it's like their entire revenue model is advertisements, right? Like, it's us marketers spending money. So when we evaluate the playing field, right, you could like, do we jump on the hot trend of like TikTok, or do we go with the tried and true method of advertising? And we decide, let's pick where everyone's still spending the majority amount of their attention. Like, we have plans to expand into other platforms, absolutely. But I agree. I think Facebook is where marketers are still spending their money. Facebook is now getting even not easier in terms of using it, but the giving us as a software company makes it easier for people to launch ads and actually get the audience that they're after, because the competition is getting so hot right now in the digital marketing space with these other platforms that you're starting to see them innovate more with it. So yeah, we think that Facebook is still, again, it's still where people are spending the money. It's still where people are spending the majority of their time. Best place to start if you're someone that's just getting started and you want to start experimenting with ads, which, by the way, it's something you will need to do to grow your business to probably the level that you want to get it to. Okay. And Facebook to us is still that honey hole.
You talk a little bit about, and I know in the about this too, but we actually asked the same guest, what would be an appropriate amount to start with? Like, sure, people have got to set aside some money, and they're like, question. Okay, well, I'm going to dabble with a couple $100 or whatever. What is the Blake Nubar answer to that? Like, hey, sock away enough to where you have your split test this, so you know it's going to work. What is a good budget to start with?
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that can determine that. Like, for example, you could spend, let's say you spent $20 $100 a day, but if you're running like 1 million ads and stuff, it's going to be hard for Meta to really understand how, like, split testing and putting, there's different things, how product awareness, how aware are people with your product, right? Is it new? Is it expensive? Like, there's multitude of factors that go into it. But overall, the simple answer in our opinion is anywhere from like 25 to $50 a day. We'd say start with, we recommend always with our users and customers, 20, because it's enough. Facebook goes through a learning phase and it lasts about 7 days. And what they want is they want you to get about 50 results. $25 and stuff, even higher. It's better for the entire algorithm. It's better for the pixel. It's going to train things faster, more efficient. And the goal is to get out of kind of this testing phase. And by upping the budget a little, advantage of doing so the pixel can understand who is interacting with this, and Facebook can then start targeting people better. You'll see now, right? Everyone's got an opinion on this. Okay. Some people will preach, you can do $5 a day. And you can, right? Depending on the ad campaign. But from our experience, $5 a day, you're going to run ads, get the results that you're probably looking to achieve. So if you're serious about getting results, we recommend 25 and even up to like 50 a day to start, because that's what's going to give you the data that you're probably after to at least start testing some concepts, testing some creatives, and seeing where you can take it based on that.
That'd be $50 total or per individual ad if you're running multiple?
Total. So we would do that at the campaign level with it.
Gotcha.
You can obviously set at the ad set level and stuff too. But overall, yeah, we set it for $15 for those ads. If you have 5 ads in ad set, right? And then Facebook will find a way to that money accordingly. Like, that's what they do best. Assuming you're not trying to split test 27,000 different things, right? Yeah. There's a rhyme.
Nobody's ever done that.
Yeah. So, we're very simple. We recommend start with 3 to 5 ads, right? $25 a day. Okay. And it tests one different thing on ones and start from there. And it's a very simple strategy. And then you get more complex as you get into the thick of it.
How long do you think you got to run to start getting some of that data that you need? Is this 2 weeks? Is it a month? Like, you're going to spend $25 to $50 a day for 2 weeks. Then I know what's working and what's not working. And then I scale, or what's that like?
Yeah. So we start getting data back, hours after, you launch the ads. Now, it's not enough to make a decision. Inside of our software specifically, our algorithm is based over about a week period. There's a lot of factors into it. In terms of impressions and clicks and things like that, we have an algorithm built out that visually showcases a lot better. That's what we do well. Couldn't stand the ugliness and the headache of Meta. So we found a way to visually showcase data in a really sexy way. So our algorithm, we're based around about, like I said, about 7 days, or depending on the types of impressions and clicks. We tell people don't touch stuff until then, right? Like I remember when we first started launching ads, you spend like $100 and you're like, oh, it's not, kill this thing off, right?
It's a scam.
Just panic, just sheer panic, right? We'd spend $500 and get like 1 sale back or 2 sales, and we would just panic. We're like, turn it off, it's not working. And we learned very quickly how big of a mistake that was, because there's been times where we spend $1,000, maybe make back half, but you keep it running a little longer, spending $1,000, making $4,000 a day on something, and you would have killed it off. Yeah, because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We panic a lot when we're spending money and something's not working exactly how we want it to work and what we expect, and those results do not meet our expectations. We freak out. And what we try and tell our users, and we try and tell people, it's like, it run its course for at least like a week, and then after a week, our software specifically is going to tell you kind of moves you need to make in order to either kill off an ad or go ahead and let's start scaling that ad by upping the budget a little bit and testing different creatives around it. And that's awesome. Kind of how we evolve it. And we make it simple. We just want thing because we built it for people like us, the hungry, scrappy entrepreneur trying to find a way through the darkness and be able to finally, for the first time ever, launch successful ads online in a very easy, intuitive way. So
yeah, that's been a missing link, I think. A lot of times, like, we're going to build the entire funnel. Here's our upsells, and we know what people are going to take on that. But who's going to see the original page, right?
Correct.
Like, how do you do that, and what are the costs involved? So this is a really cool missing piece. I do have a question, though, for you.
Yeah.
Building software, okay? Talk to us about that. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's really, I've got this idea. How hard was it to build the software? How long did it take? What was involved in that? Because I know that it's painful. So talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah. So anyone that's built software from the ground up can relate to the pains of taking an idea from nothing to something, a white label version of anything. I'm talking like you take an idea and you build it to a software. My business partner, Ace, and I, we've been working on this. He has been crushing through this for the past, we've been on it, I would say. This idea started 18 months ago. I mean,
dude, I remember last year talking to you about this, and you're like, dude, we are in deep. This is rough.
Step of and anyone watching, if you like, I don't want to discourage anyone. Software is amazing. Like the benefits, the amount of people you can help, and what it can do for you as a business is unreal. But it's a challenging rock tumbler experience at every step of the way. You never feel like you're just like something new, from concept feasibility to, let's build the software. And then before you can even go build it, you're even testing the viability of the idea in itself. If you even get through that phase, right? Now you're like, okay, let's go build the UI to this thing. How's the UX going to work with this entire thing? Because you have to remember, you're staring at this. There's nothing some of this stuff is like, we didn't really have anything to look at, because if you look at traffic software out there, it's basically non-existent. Like what ClickFunnels did for funnels, we're approaching it from a traffic perspective with a software for traffic. And you guys can relate to this, and Russell and everyone on your team, it is just, there's always something wrong. And I think people that have built software from the ground up have a respect for those that have done the same thing, because we have all been through that rock tumbler every second of the day to build something out. And the amount of money invested, the amount of time, my Ace has gone through, if I showed you some of these iterations on like 30 iterations on something, because we want to make the baddest software on the planet. And that's what it takes.
That isn't good too.
It doesn't take like, let's just throw a design up and that's good enough. No, it's got to be freaking great. And to be great, it could take one simple pop-up modal and thinking of, okay, so if they watch the video and then click this button and then end up here and then come back here and then click this, how can we simplify that process? And that could be 30 screens of a total of 300. And a year and a half later, that's when you can look back and be proud of what you created. And then it's a whole new can of issues as developing new features, listening to the customer data on it, like all these different things. So software is a very difficult thing to create from the ground up, but it's also the most rewarding thing. And if you want to play bigger, like I think it was David Frey said it, you don't have a business until you have a continuity type thing. Yeah. Right? It's like you got to have something. Every great business on earth has some type of continuity in some way, shape, or form. And we knew it was time for us to solve a bigger problem in this space. And software it just so happened to be the vehicle. A lot of the mistakes I see a lot of people make is they're attracted to the lure of the wealth that software brings and create a software, and they're not solving a real problem. The only reason we did a software is because that was the perfect mechanism to deliver this idea that we had. It could have been in an info product. It could have been in an ebook. It could have been a physical book. It could have been anything totally different. This was just the best solution because when you have a recurring problem, you need a recurring software solves that very well. So if anyone listening as well, if you have the idea to do a software, I totally am behind you on it. Just make sure it's the right vehicle and mechanism to deliver that idea. It just so happened this was it. But yeah, very challenging thing every step of the way. You know, I can't tell you how many times we're just like, this thing sucks. This thing's great. This thing sucks. This thing's great.
Yeah. We know all about that. Yeah.
You ultimately have to remember why you started in the first place. And if you ever seen like kind of that creative process graph, we all go through it. It's like, this is awesome. Might be okay. This is crap. This might be awesome again. And it's just like you go through this roller coaster of emotions with it at every step of the way. But ultimately, satisfying experiences, and you learn a lot about yourself being able to build something from the ground up. So very difficult, but also very rewarding. And it's something that can help a lot of people with kind of one of those one solution. And it's just our job to keep building this thing out. But every new step, just like you guys know, every new step of business or building a software or catering to new customers for the first time, is always a new set of challenges every single day as you kind of graduate and jump up each like ring of the ladder. And that's what we're going through right now. But you know, we have our shield on, we have our armor ready to rock and roll. And I think we have one of the strongest whys to this, and then really make this thing into something we know it can become.
I want to kind of ask a question that could just be a little bit ignorance, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And Shoot me down if I'm wrong, but building this brand new business, this brand new software from scratch, literally from nothing but pen and paper, that's solving a massive problem. Do you feel like you would have been able to give yourself the time and the money to build something like this if you didn't have your not only previous skill set and knowledge, but the revenue that you had from being an affiliate, from building a business before, giving you that cushion?
No. So we start on this, and Ace has been grinding on this stuff from day one, and we've been going back and forth with this stuff. I think the ability that him and myself were able to create revenue via affiliate offers or our own offers, it was the reason we didn't have to go seek outside capital right away. Opinion, if you talk to, so I had a background in private equity, like I know about the VC world, the angel investment world I used to work in and stuff. A lot of times, like they see entrepreneurs build stuff, but they suck at marketing. And when you're kind of this threat where you're good at building product, you write your own ticket via anywhere. So what we decided to do is, first off, this idea wasn't with us the entire time. It was stumbled upon. Ace walked into the office like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever we started 2 years ago. And it was just like, boom, that's it. That got to start grinding on this thing. But the ability for us to generate that revenue previously from the skill set of affiliate marketing and marketing is what even gave us the opportunity to do this. Because if you don't go learn marketing first and how to sell your product or someone else's, your route is this. And we did that route. You start building something, okay? You're either going to run out of money on it because you have if there's no benefactor in place, and you're kind of stuck at that point. And we've made that mistake in the past when we were back in college and stuff. We tried to build out a software. It's just, you just run out. You just like, you don't know how to market. You can't sell the thing. No one's like, it doesn't matter. You're kind of putting the carriage before the horse, on this thing. And learn how to sell other stuff first, generate revenue via that way, and then graduate and jump to the next big lily pad of things you can conquer. And it was 100% because we were able to become very good at marketing our products and other people's products that even gave us the ability to execute on an idea like this. Because if we're almost on like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If we can't even get an income from the marketing side of things, that idea is not even going to come into our heads because we are so worried about like, how are we going to make money doing this first? But then when you start earning an income doing the things I was just mentioning, now it frees up your headspace to be like, well, what else can we do? That's a problem. And now we have the resources and the force and the backing to actually execute on it. I'm not a fan of taking in money right away. Now, I'm also not the person to be like, I hate funding specifically, right? I think there's a time and place for it. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of, they have an idea, they go down this campaign trail of getting funding, right? There's now because they're spending someone else's money and these companies go belly up. We would see 50, 60 companies come in a week, right, into our when I was in private equity, and like maybe when one's invested in, and of that one that's invested in, like one of those 50 work. It's like you got to learn the skill sets before you are able to actually go execute on an idea like this. And the reason I would say Ace and I are able to execute on this is because we have been through so many failed ideas before in the past, and now we actually have the money and we can pick up all the stuff that we learned along the way. We have the income that was generated, and now we can put it into something like this. And that's why this is really possible, because of learning that skill set of marketing prior to this to be able to.
So is this thing ready to go? Are you guys selling this? Is it in beta? Like, I'm curious also, how are you selling it? What's cool about this is you've now created the software. Some people are engineers. They're going to go create an awesome software, but they don't know how to market it. You're like this two-headed monster, man. Like, you've now created what exactly is the solution to the need, how to market it. So like, tell us what's going on with that, and then how do people find it?
Yeah, that's the key too. So like you have to have both weapons in your belt, so to speak. You got to be really good at making amazing products, and you got to be really good at marketing those products. So we finished the software. Software is launched. Well, it's never launch ready, right? You always launch.
Yeah.
We launch them perfectly. We are a fan of that. Software is never done. It's never complete, and it always has bugs. There's always issues. Every new iteration on something, it plagues the whole thing, and it comes whatever it is. So we launched this thing back in January via info product. So we have a better way of launching ads, and Rocketeer is tool that you need to execute on the information that we teach. So again, it's like the chainsaw. It's right. Like we have a really cool chainsaw, but if you don't know how to use that chainsaw, it's kind of
you can be hacking off arms.
Exactly right.
Nobody likes that.
Yeah, so we're selling it via webinar. Right now, it's the best means to sell it. We'll have challenges, and we already have like all of things we want to do. We are really excited about the marketing part of it because the software is like humming. It's our MVP, which we view it as like a maximum viable product, just because anyone that's you scope creep a lot, you add things you probably didn't need just because it's freaking cool. And we did some of that stuff. I'm guilty of it. We're guilty of it. But anyway, went through beta back in December, went through flying colors. People loved it. Launched it in January, did very, very well in the launch. We're very excited with the results from that. And then now we just have fully finished fulfillment on the offers that we created for it. And now we are refining and tool tipping our presentation to go after a broader set of potential customers. And we are about to start hitting the campaign trail.
That's awesome, man. Where does somebody go to actually learn more about it? You got a link or anything?
Yeah, totally. So you can go to adlaunchsecrets.com/watch. So it's adlaunchsecrets.com/watch, and we will show you real ads, especially behind using Rocketeer.
I love it. And and for those of you who are using ClickFunnels, this is the perfect way to get eyeballs onto your funnel too. So go check it out. Blake is an absolute rock star. Dude, thanks for joining us today. You are always a wealth of knowledge. I've loved having you on Facebook Live and everything else. So it's always a pleasure, my friend.
You guys are rock stars. I am so humbled and blessed to be able to hang out with you guys here today. It is always fun to jam out. So thank you for having me.